of height, and the...
Welcome, Cancer, to the Temple of Tarot, Astrology, and Yoga. My name is Ava, and I'm welcoming you in for your November 2025 Astro Tarot Forecast, a combination of astrology and the tarot meant to give us a deeper understanding, insight into the energies of the month. This is relevant to you if your sun sign, your moon sign, or your rising sign is Cancer. So Cancer, this month we've got Venus, and I only follow the transits of two planets, Venus and Mars. Venus is transiting Scorpio, your fifth house, and Mars is transiting into Sagittarius, your sixth house. These houses, though they lay side by side, are very dissimilar in the pursuits of the particular house. The fifth house is about pleasure, romance, children, creativity, love. It is where Venus loves to hang out, and it's hanging out in your fifth house for the entire duration of the month. Counterbalanced to this, we have Mars in your sixth house of work, duty, responsibility, productivity, caring for your health, being proactive about your well-being. And these two houses may have a sort of a contrast tension between them, an emotional contrast tension that will exhibit itself in sort of, is it work or is it play? Do I take a holiday, or do I sink even deeper into my work project, into my work, into my labor? What is so beautiful is that with Venus in the fifth, this is one of the most splendid opportunities for your art, however you define your art, because this is about pure creativity that comes from the sheer pleasure of creating. So it's really an opportunity for those of you Cancers who have artistic talent to indulge that, perhaps even at the expense of your work. I realize that in this equation of work against play ought to take a back seat. But it's a rare phenomenon when Venus transits the fifth. And it is one of the greatest opportunities for your genius to exhibit itself. Now, if, on the other hand, you're a very pragmatic Cancer, very responsible Cancer, then you're going to vie for putting your energy into your work and making sure, of course, that you are healthy and capable, and maybe you have to direct some real attention to your health this month. And if that distracts you from your creativity, or maybe even your children, if your work or your health takes you away from your children, this could again lead to emotional tension, inner emotional tension. With Mars in the 6th, there could be some conflict with workers, co-workers in your workspace, something to do with your work. Not necessarily. It's just possible for some. And there may be some conflict with issues about your health, disagreements, different opinions that don't agree with each other about your health. Either you take an opposing view or someone else is taking an opposing view. And so there's tension about what to do about your health. A, B, C, what are the best solutions to health issues? And with Venus in your 5th, if you've heard of art therapy, creativity can be an enormous therapy, because so many illnesses have psychological causes. Fundamentally, they have real and material consequences. So it's almost as affirming your bias that something happened to you, where in fact it might be some emotional or inner struggle that is causing the illnesses. And by taking time off and doing things that are pleasurable, that give you real emotional satisfaction, it would probably go a long way to bringing you up to a higher level of well-being, and so making you thus more productive. So if it's about your work, you're going to have a lot of work to do. There's a lot to be done. However you categorize your work. Some people are retired and they don't work. But they have their various duties or tasks. And so it's about being able to have the energy to accomplish and to complete various duties, responsibilities, tasks, and being productive in ways that don't necessarily mean increase in income, but productive in that you are producing more value for yourself in some way. And so this is a glorious month if you can reconcile these two competing energies between fun, work, and health. So guard your health this month, and don't get into any disputes about it, because it would only weaken you if you are at odds with someone about treatments. Be aware that as a Cancer, you're a very emotional sign. And therefore, the root of many of your physical problems can be traced back to your emotions. So you have to be very guarded in keeping peace within you. Be at peace with yourself. Even if you're working hard, producing, creating, love yourself. Give yourself moments of sheer joy and pleasure during the month. Enjoy your children, your family. Nothing gives a Cancer more satisfaction and deep meaning than family. So immerse yourself in family and in your own creative impulses spontaneously, and your health and your productivity will also thrive. So that is the astrological forecast for you, Cancer. So now wait for the following tarot forecast. And if you would like a reading from me, private personal reading, there's a link below to my website, grandcentralhealing.com. And thank you. Namaste. Welcome, Cancer, to your tarot forecast for November 2025. Again, relevant to you if your sun sign, your moon sign, or your rising sign is Cancer. Well, you have a month of dual energies, vectors that you can go. And the golden mean is always the best, right in the middle. Do work, take care of your health, and have fun. So here are the cards that I use. I use a large deck so I can show you the card as I'm describing the symbols to you. Again, you can use my readings to learn how to read, because I emphasize the symbols and their meaning and their impact on the forecast. So let's insert two reversals just here arbitrarily, and then just shuffle just a little more, and there we go. I think that should do it. We place the cards down, if you can see, and then we take our left hand and we pick up a number of them, and we make two separate piles, and then we can reassemble into a single pile. And we're ready to begin your reading, Cancer. All right. All right, so the first card represents the overall mood or energy of the month, the theme, the story that's being told. Wow. Death. So, this is about sudden, unexpected change that has real drama around it. Death does not necessarily mean physical death of anyone around you, or in some cases, it just may. Primarily, though, death is a very spiritual card. I prefer to call it the butterfly card, And the reason for that is because the life cycle of a butterfly is the same metaphoric story of transformation on the deepest level. The fact that we have death at all forces us to pay attention to the span of life that we have. And in that span of life, people die around us, and we are made aware of our own longevity, our own inevitable exit from the earth plane. This makes us wake up to what we have. And by allowing the process of death, which is natural, to take place, we in fact create ground for the new, for the more beautiful. So as much as we mourn what is lost, we celebrate the possible new beginnings that this indicates. We become a butterfly if we allow the caterpillar to metamorphose, to change, to become something entirely different. That's why this is such a dramatic energy, because it's black and white. It points to the fragility of life. And when you really feel the fragility of life, you embrace it, hold it close to you. So that is the ultimate lesson that death brings. So this is profound transformation, a letting go at a very deep level, a mourning for what you've lost, but an awakening to beautiful possibilities just around the corner. Woo! All right, Cancer. In the position of the unexpected, the challenge. I was mesmerized by the image that I'm looking at. Challenge, your challenge, is a reversal of another major arcana card. And that is the moon reversed. Yes, well, the moon is about feelings, about emotions, changing emotions. The various phases of the moon represent changing emotions, fluctuating emotions. When this particular card is reversed, it can intensify this emotional turbulence, and dealing with the darker aspects of consciousness, your own or others, dire, naysayers, negative people, negative emotions. In reverse, your challenge is to reverse this mood, to tip it over, and to bring in the light and the way. The moon lights our way through the darkness, and it asks us to connect with our intuition, our deepest sense of direction, the light of the moon, which illuminates your path before you, so you can walk with confidence through the darkness, through the naysayers, through the negative emotions, negative feedback that you might be surrounded with. You have to hold your own. Trust in yourself. Trust in your deepest sense of reality. That is what is asked of you in this very emotional and dramatic beginning. Well, let's see what is now in the position of the unexpected. All right. Remember, we still have Mars in the 6th house of work. So here we have a merchant, 3 of Wands, standing at the edge of his empire. He has just put all his products onto a ship, and they have been launched. He's watching them leave the harbor. He has one wand that he's holding on to. That's the inspiration. That's the ace. That's where this all started. He had an idea. The second wand represents the plan, which has already been executed, completed. The third is the launch, where you go out into the real world and you see if anybody wants your product, service, idea, labor. Unexpected opportunities to be productive, to start that work project, to not be afraid of testing it. You see, that ship that this merchant has all his goods on could run across storms, or the boat itself could be not built very well. These are things that he's factoring in as he's dreaming about the likelihood of his profits. So you're standing sort of at the edge of having come to a point where you can actually test out what you've been working on. See if anybody responds. See if you can actually make it work. So you're trusting in your creativity, to have given you a means by which to ultimately create a revenue source. But that hasn't been totally fulfilled yet. It's in the works. It's the wheels are churning. There's sort of unexpected anticipation here of the good that will come, indications that what you've done has validity, has merit, has use, and people want what you create. So this already gives us the indication, even though there is not a complete fulfillment yet of all the potential within that original idea. Let's see how it ends. Wow, okay. Work. I think that the first part of this reading is very much about Venus in the fifth. Because Venus in the fifth is about your deepest desires, deepest emotional yearnings, concerns. And the Death card and the reversed moon shows you going through this emotional struggle to create a loving environment, a loving experience for yourself, full of creativity and joy and love. But at the same time, you've got the Three of Pentacles, a very pragmatic, down-to-earth card. Here we have an apprentice who doesn't have as much authority, experience as an older man would, but he's been given a very large assignment beyond his experiential talents or skills. He's been elevated. He's standing on a bench. He's held in high regard, despite the fact that he may not have the experience. He has confidence, and he confidently shows his clients his plans. So it's about a contract. It's about a work agreement and being assigned a task that may be just a level or two above your training or your skill set. But you're determined and confident that you can, in fact, create, see the Three Pentacles, a stained glass, a beautiful result. So this is very good. It's about making money, doing something that you enjoy, that you love. So that's Venus in the fifth. And yet, this is also Mars in the sixth, just pouring yourself into a work project that will help you to raise up your skill set, your wisdom, your knowledge. So you gain financially, and you also gain academically, in the sense that you're using your work to teach you more about your field. So that is the outcome. Now, if you don't work, Well, this can be interpreted as you learning something that will help you on a ground level, on a material level, just giving you more self-reliant resources, and not bulking or shying away from things that at first may seem above your knowledge or skill level. Do it anyway, because this is a great opportunity. If you have an opportunity to learn something this month that will help you in becoming more productive, in becoming more useful, then do it, because you've got an enormous change to deal with, and work might be one of the ways of dealing with this radical change that's about to happen. Letting go of an old paradigm and allowing a new one to enter in, and controlling turbulent emotions of those around you and those within you. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining me, and wait for your yoga pose coming up. And if you would like a private and personal reading from me, there's a link below. Thank you. Namaste. So today we're going to do a movement variation of upward facing dog, which has many benefits. It stretches and strengthens the muscles that support the back. It boosts circulation. It tones the muscles of the arms, back, and hips, opens up the chest, shoulders, back, and improves flexibility. It also stimulates your digestive system. So let's begin. Come up on all fours. Keep the wrists right underneath your shoulders, and then pull back away from your wrists. We begin with the toes on the ground, supporting us, as well as the knees and the hands. We then move the torso gently. We rock the torso back and forth. If this is all you can do during the entire pose, then just keep doing it at this minimal extent, reaching back the hips towards the heels and pulling the hips forward. We rock back and forth, getting closer and closer to the heels with the buttocks, bearing the head down between the arms, pressing down the shoulders as you move back and forth. We exhale back through the nose, and we inhale forward. Feel it through the lower back, hips, shoulders. We press the hips forward and back, moving gently and pressing into the hips and into the shoulders. Rock, move, and feel. Move as many times as you can, back and forth, opening up your hips, your shoulders. Now lift the toes off the ground and bring the feet up towards the buttocks as you rock forward and back, replacing the toes back down on the floor as you sit back into your heels. We rock, involving the lower legs, ankles, feet. We rock. Keep moving. Repeat as many times as you can. Now slow down, stop, and support yourself on your knees, your toes, your arms. Face forward. Let go of the lower back. Let your hips sink. Look up. Hold as long as you can. Breathe